are live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, that was not ideal, right? That's not how you want to bounce back after a loss. But look, when one team plays the right way and the other team doesn't, you're going to have this more often than not. Lakers just didn't play the right way. Lakers just didn't. They didn't move the basketball. They turned the ball over. I mean, they had what? They had more turnovers, or almost as many turnovers as assists, right? They had assists. They had 21, and they had 20 turnovers. You're not winning very many basketball games that way. On top of them not shooting the ball well, but we've seen even when this team doesn't shoot well, when they play the right way, you can still generate wins. But when you turn the ball over 20 times, and on top of turning the ball over 20 times, you aren't boxing out. You're not doing the little things. You're not sharing and moving the basketball and getting quality offensive looks. This is what happens. The Cavs, on the other hand, Cavs handled their business, right? You look at the Cavs side of things, they had 37 assists. 37 assists. 37 assists. And, he dropped it. Sorry, I got the Dodger game on. Oh, let's go. That's huge. Let's go. So, sorry, 37 assists. That was like a routine catch, and the bum just dropped it. But on top of that, they only had 12 turnovers, right? You play the right way. You move the basketball. You do the things that you're supposed to do. You win. It's a simple concept. Lakers are not doing the things that they're supposed to do, so they lost. But look, I'd rather this be Game 5 than Game 50. Got a lot you need to work out. Look, I said it all offseason. I even said it after the 3-0 start. I worry about our defense. My concern is the defense. Do we have the pieces to be at least a serviceable defensive team? Because when our offense isn't clicking, are we going to be able to generate the stops? I said it last year when the Lakers were 8-0 with Rui in the starting unit. The problem is we don't have the defense, particularly out on the perimeter. And you saw that this game. This game was a very apparent game. Moving the basketball, we don't have the foot speed. We don't have the athleticism to kind of make up for the bad moments, right? And I just don't see how we really correct that without a trade. It's why even 3-0, I said I still believe we need a trade because I do think we still need a trade. I think we need to go get some athleticism. D'Lo, he's the odd man out. You got to turn D'Lo even into like a Bruce Brown type, something to where you can get some point of attack. Still like the Walker Kessler, Colin Sexton deal. If you could work something like that out where you can get a Colin Sexton, gives you some similar production offensively as D'Lo, but just gives you some athleticism. And when he's bought in and engaged on the defense side, he's actually a good defender. It's just keeping him focused. He's not a guy that's, you have to kind of keep and stay on top of him. But it's one thing when you're playing for like a team like the Jazz. It's another thing when you're playing for a team like the Lakers, who have Anthony Davis, have a coach like JJ Redick, have a guy like LeBron James and AD that are telling you like, hey, you need to do better. You need to be more productive on the defensive side. But look, we have these next two games against the Raptors and the Pistons that we can now go back, look at tape, find the things we need to find, correct the mistakes, do better adjusting, and end up kind of riding the ship over these next two games. You have to win the next two. You cannot drop one of those games. You have to beat the teams you're supposed to. And then hopefully we've kind of figured some stuff out between now and that Grizzlies game, and we can close out and be 3-2 on this road trip, and then everything's fine again, right? No issues, no concerns, right? You win these next two games, you're 5-2 going in that Grizzlies game, right? Again, I'd rather this be Game 5 than Game 50. It's when you have the game like he dropped it again. Let's go. Is that bases loaded? Let's go, Dodgers. Coming back. Down 5-0, but that's nothing. Dodgers coming back. Sorry. Stay focused, right, Tyler? But when you have the loss like the Phoenix game, right, where it's a tight loss, LeBron, he's sick, you should have won that game. You were kind of in the trenches, in the thick of it. You can kind of easily just write it off as, hey, you know what? If LeBron was half decent, we win the game. If we hit a couple more shots, we win the game. Right? If there's a couple things, we're good. Right? Like if it's something like that, it's harder to know exactly what you need to work than a game like this where you just get ran through and basically dominated start to finish. I mean, this is a good old-fashioned behind the barn, just whooping. And sometimes you need those. You need those humbling experiences to go like, hey, look, we started 3-0. You had the game that you should have won, right? You played the right way, but just, you just needed another one more bucket and you win that game. And then now you go into this game, you get the smackdown, you get the hammer, and then now you can kind of figure some stuff out and go, okay, let's kind of take a breather. Let's evaluate. Let's figure out what we need to correct. Let's figure out what we did wrong here, and then make those adjustments. I mean, this team, I still think this team is better than last year's team. I still think that they are much more fluid. They just didn't play the right way. They got off of what the success is, right? Which is moving the basketball, sharing the basketball, not turning the basketball over. If you have 10 turnovers instead of 20, this might have been a different game. You have 30 assists instead of 21, this might have been a different game, right? But when you stop sharing the basketball, you stop doing the little things that matter, and you're playing a team that is, again, they had 35 assists or 37 assists, right? You get a team that has nearly 40 assists and only 12 turnovers, and you're not doing that, you're not matching that style of play, you're going to lose these games. It's how it goes. Turnovers, lack of proper play style really hurt this team in this game. Right? To me, that's what this boiled down to. Lakers did not play the right way. If I'm JJ Redick, I'm going to the locker room and I'm going like, look, you guys didn't play the right way. 21 assists. All right? You had almost as many turnovers as assists. Right? Like, that's the problem. But there's real concerns with this roster, without a doubt, right? Talked about it even after we started 3-0. Still need the defense. Really think, Jared Vanderbilt, when he comes back and stuff like that, I do think he'll help. But it's why I've talked about once Jared Vanderbilt comes back, and if he can stay healthy and kind of work his way back to being Jared Vanderbilt, I just think at some point he has to be in the starting lineup. He has to be. Whether you're putting Rui or D'Lo or Reeves or whomever, you got to put somebody, one of those guys on the bench. It'll help bench production offensively. And it'll help give you that defense and that athleticism out on the perimeter to really help some stuff out. But until that happens, I think you're going to have a few games like this. But again, I don't think it's the sky is falling. I don't think Chicken Little, it's all over. Lakers are trash again. Look, it was a bad loss. You need these. Sometimes you need this bad loss. I'd rather it be early, so we can make those corrections, make those adjustments, make those changes, so we can kind of, game 20, 22, 25, 40, we're no longer making these mistakes. So I'm excited. I still really believe in this team. I still trust this team, and I think we'll write some stuff. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, let's get into the chat here. Real quick, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate you all being here. Hopefully the Dodgers come back right now. I have the Dodgers right here, so I can kind of keep an eye on, because man, we 5-0. Come on, timeout before we get into the chat. Shuei's up to bat. This is his moment. Come on, man, and he strikes out right when I say that. This is your moment. This is bad. Right? He's the best player in baseball. You're paying him $1 billion to be here. He's struggled all playoffs. Not all playoffs, all World Series. Bases loaded, 1 out. That was his moment. This is his moment right here to do something, and he botched it. Man, come on, Shuei. All right, let's get back to Lakers basketball. But starting us off, Lyden, coming in hot with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Seriously, we clearly need a move. Stop making excuses for. It's not an excuse. What move are we supposed to make? This is my question. Like right now, everything is 2 firsts. And not only is it 2 firsts, but they also want Reeves and Max. Like, we're not in a position right now to make any demands. And who are we trading for? What? Do you want Jeremy Grant? Jeremy Grant make us that much better? And we give up 2 firsts? No, we need multiple moves. You need Jeremy Grant and a Bruce Brown, or a Cam Johnson and a Bruce Brown. It's not an excuse. It's a reality. The season just started. No one's rushing to make trades right now. That's why I've said, the Lakers need to stay patient. Lakers need to continue to win, right? Because if you're winning, there's not that much pressure, right? You can be patient, find the right moves. If Lakers start getting behind the 8 ball here, now that pressure starts to mount. Now that pressure stands up. But again, like what deal? Like, lead it. I would love to hear what deal would you trade? Remember, both first. What's one trade for both firsts that you would make right now that makes us a title contender? Because I don't believe there is one. I don't think that there's one single move for both firsts that make us a true title contender. Right? I think the closest thing is like a Zach LaVine, but you need to make sure he's healthy first before you go make that trade. Right? So, but even that, I think makes us a lot better. But does that make us one of the top 3 teams in the league? I don't know. Maybe. Zach LaVine, especially the way he's been playing phenomenal. So maybe that's the case. But again, I genuinely, I appreciate the super chat and I appreciate the conversation. I'm always for it. But please, I encourage you, please tell me what singular one trade for 2 firsts right now, because again, that's the cost right now, would you make that makes us the title contender that Rob can do, right? It's easy to say, like, go get Giannis, right? I'm talking about a real move for who's available. So you're talking Jeremy Grant, Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, Walker Kessler, right? I love Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler is my second favorite target. But him by himself does not make us a contender. It doesn't. Right? By himself doesn't make it makes us better, right? But does that make us a title contender? That's the question. But again, I really do appreciate that. And it was your 3rd super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I got the little flash notification. So thank you. I really do appreciate that. Dustin, coming out with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Seriously. D'Lo, Gabe, Rui for Zach LaVine, Hayes in 3 seconds for Nick Richards. Pick up a point guard on the buyout market. Max Christie is trash. Max Christie has been trashed thus far. Again, I've said it before, and I can't get on board with the Max Christie. Dalton Connect was better this time, but which is good. Dalton Connect. Oh, we got the little bloop. Let's go. Come on, Dodgers are rallying. Let's go. 5-3. Oh, yeah, 5-3. Let's go. Dodgers are rallying. I love it. But sorry, trying to stay focused. This is a World Series, baby. You guys gotta, bear with me. But to focus on Dustin, Dalton Connect really emerged. I love that he got hot at the end of the game. Hopefully that starts to get him rolling. But here's the thing. We need that in the flow of the game. Not in garbage time when the game doesn't matter, right? We don't like Dalton Connect. I love what we saw today, but can he do that regularly in the flow of the game? Max Christie, he can't shoot right now to save his life. The guy is just defensively, he's been good, right? I still think he's arguably our second best perimeter defender that from what we have right now. I don't hate the idea of Cam Reddish also, but he's got to find an offensive shot. However, I can't get on board on the ship them out, they're trash, Max Christie's garbage. I understand he's in year 3, but he might as well be a rookie. This is his first opportunity. And you're asking him in his first opportunity ever to go from basically not playing hardly ever outside of like garbage time to we need you to be our 6th best player overnight. That's hard for anybody, right? Like, and we're 5 games. What does he look like game 20, 21, 22, 23? If by game 20, he's still in this, he's still struggling, he's still not looking like what we need him to look like, then yes, now I think we start having that conversation about like, hey, Max Christie's trash. We gotta ship him out and his $8 million. Right? We need to go get that piece, whatever, add him in his salary to go get a bigger piece, whatever you need to do it. But right now, as it stands, right? But in all seriousness, like right now, I just think you need to be patient with him. I just think you need to kind of let's see what he does. But he is rough right now. And then as far as D'Lo, Gabe, and Rui, look, I'm sure you're aware, I am the biggest Zach LaVine advocate out there. I think you go get Zach LaVine and let's go try to win an NBA championship. Come on. Oh, we hit the wall. Oh, let's go. Did they just tie it? They just tied it. Let's go. The rally. 5-5. Sorry, Dustin. I'm trying to get through your super chat. I promise. I promise. But let's go. Oh, hopefully you understand, Dustin. Sorry. But again, Zach LaVine, I would do that all day. The only thing about Zach LaVine, you have to be patient right now, right? They're 5 games in, but what does he look like what does he look like game 20, right? Game 15. Right? Once you get to like December 15th to where you can start unloading guys and guys become available and you start doing stuff, maybe go get a Valanciunas, whatever. By then, you should kind of have enough game sample size to know, because you don't want to trade for Zach LaVine and then now it's like, oh man, he's hurt and you're in trouble. So to me, you got to kind of be patient on the Zach LaVine trade as much as I want it. And then Hayes in 3 seconds for Nick Richard. I don't know if does that money work? I don't know if that money works, because isn't Nick Richards making $5 million? Lakers have to ship out more cash because they also need to fill out the roster. So you're probably looking at Hayes and like Jalen Hood-Schifino or something like that, which again I would be okay with. 3 seconds, go get Nick Richards. Let's go win a championship, baby. I am right there with you. I would also try to get like a Torrey Craig or something in that LaVine deal, right? Can you get LaVine and Torrey Craig? If you could do something like that, so now you got a legit 3-and-D wing guy, that veteran that can kind of plug in, and then on top of that, you got Zach LaVine, and then go make a move for, like I said, Walker Kessler, Nick Richards, whomever. But again, I appreciate you, Dustin, add in Maxwell Lewis. I just saw you said add in Max Lewis, that as well. But again, thank you so much for the super chat. Sorry, I kept getting distracted by the Dodger game. But like I said, this is a World Series. We win this, we're champions. So I really hope you understand, Dustin. Sorry. Wasn't trying to be rude on your super chat, just excited. But diving into the regular chat, think it's tough. Yeah, this was definitely a tough loss. We stunk it up today, our first really bad game of the year. Yeah, which, like I said, I'd rather have it game 5 than have it game 50, right? I'd rather kind of get it out the way, clear it out, you wash your hands with it and move on, right? Make the adjustments, go watch film, go do what you need to do, and let's get back on track. When opponents make so many threes like that, yeah, it is tough. It is tough. But Lakers didn't do themselves favors. Like, this wasn't just solely a game where the Cavs shot the lights out. The Cavs played the right way and the Lakers didn't. Cavs were generating good, wide open looks and generating good opportunities, and the Lakers just didn't. And then you had almost as many. Literally, they had one more assist than turnover. I don't think that this was just Lakers were just, Cavs just shot the lights out and that's all it was. That's not what this game was to me. Has been horrible on both ends of the court this season. I don't think the Lakers have been bad on both sides. Lakers offense has been great. They're I think 6th or 5th in total offense right now. Their offense is fine. It's their defense is the problem. And again, you're not sharing the basketball. You're not doing the things that you're supposed to do. This is the kind of thing that happens. Despite the loss to the Suns, feels like a very winnable game, but this one was really tough loss because of threes. Yeah, like I said, the Suns one, you can kind of you kind of swallow it, just go, hey, you know what, that sucks. Now pause, by the way, but yeah, it's just, this is the game that was the good old fashioned take you behind the barn whooping that you need to do better on. It sucks to be a Laker fan right now. Connect looks solid. D'Lo got to go. Yeah, the way he's playing right now is not good. He is not doing us any favors right now. Got to go. Must get a center, defensive wing, and another scoring option. Marcus Smart, maybe for Gabe Vincent. I would love Marcus Smart. I just don't see the Grizzlies doing that for Gabe Vincent. And supposedly they want a first. I wouldn't trade a first for Marcus Smart. That's just me. But D'Lo didn't contribute to any of the wins he needs to go. I mean, I wouldn't say that. What was the third game? He had 16, 5, and 7 or something like that. He had the same stat line as Austin Reeves. I disagree that he hasn't contributed to any of the wins, but has he been good? No, right? He's had really one good game, one okay game, and then the rest have been kind of just lackluster. So that's a problem. I noticed every position on the court, Cavs were always the bigger ones. Lakers actually won the rebounding battle, but yeah. The Lakers just won't be serious until they make some trades. Yeah, which you gotta wait. You gotta be patient on. Oh, he got it. Oh, all right, it's okay. I'll take the 5-5. Let's go. But yeah, I think you gotta wait on the Zach LaVine thing. Look, I still think Zach LaVine is probably gonna end up getting traded at some point to the Lakers. I think he'll be a Laker at some point, but we'll see. Oh, here comes the team is trash after a loss. Where were you when the Lakers started 3-0? I didn't hear you saying the Lakers are trash after they were 3-0. Of course, the clowns crawling out of the kind of the Schmeagles. LaVine, Ao, Craig, and Kessler. I would love that if we could pull something like that off. Because now you get a point of attack point guard. You get Zach LaVine, you get Torrey Craig and Kessler. Problem is that I'm pretty sure Chicago would want a first at least if they're going to include Ao, which I wouldn't mind if you can get Ao because he's young. And now you have basically your 0.2 guard. He could even slot in and play the 3. But the Jazz want 2 firsts for Kessler. So unless you can convince them to take 1 first, maybe you're looking to trade Max Christie after the 15th, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. D'Lo and Reeves were the sole reason we lost this game. They cannot guard a cone. That backcourt should have been split. Reeves has been very good. Look, I've been incredibly critical of Austin Reeves, particularly his shooting, but defensively he's been very good this season overall. This definitely wasn't his best defensive game. He was not very good defensively this game, but overall this season he has been good. D'Lo is just the odd man out. I have 2 videos that are already done, scheduled. One is about Austin Reeves and kind of filling in at the D'Lo role if we were to trade D'Lo, and then the other one is about D'Angelo Russell. Those videos will probably come out tomorrow unless some news. Just things keep coming out, like got the Coloco news and stuff like that. So, but yeah, they're going to have to break that up at some point. You got to turn D'Lo into a better fit alongside Reeves is what you got to do. Got dribble penetration every single play. Yeah. I mean, that's what they do. They're 2 of the best in the league in that department. Max and Gabe should be the first to go, then D'Lo and whoever else. Problem is you're trading your 2 current best perimeter defenders, so it depends on what you get. Also, you got to keep in mind, Max can't be traded till the 15th. I'm not saying you don't trade him, but just keep that in mind. 2, like I said, I want to wait and see what Max gives us as he progresses this season. I don't mind trading Gabe and Max, right? I don't think anyone is untradeable, but what are you getting? And you also need to round out the bench, right? Like if you trade Gabe, Max, and D'Lo and another starter, like that's great, but now your bench is even worse. And it's just like, who do you get? It's just that there's things that the Lakers are going to have to work out. I also want to wait and see, like, what does this team look like when Christian Wood comes back? As well, of course, Vando also, but Wood, because of his versatility and him being a key big off the bench, right? I want to see how much he can kind of offset things. Because if he can come in, if he can get back to being like a 15-point-a-game guy, then now you don't have as many bench concerns. So you can start unloading bench pieces if need be to go get that. Not that our bench is great, but at least those 2 guys give you serviceable defense, particularly out on the perimeter. Now, if you go get some perimeter guys, then that changes things. I just think it depends on what the Lakers – I'm not saying don't do that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I want to see what we end up what ends up becoming available and what we can actually pull off. Andrew, coming out $2 super chat. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate that. Good coach time to make the move. JJ, make it work. Yeah. I mean, look, I trust JJ a lot. I think JJ is going to sit down. I think he's going to sit with the team. He's going to go over the film. He's going to sit in the film room, and he's going to break some stuff down. I think you'll see some real changes. I think you're going to see some adjustments. I think you're going to see some call-outs. Well, we won't see the call-outs, but I wouldn't be shocked if you hear about some of the call-outs. I think you're going to get a very different, right, JJ Redick. I think he's going to kind of – because he hates losing. He's not a big fan of it. I don't think he's going to take losing 2 straight games very well. I think it's kind of – get back to the drawing board, play the right way. You got these next 2 games to where you can really kind of work through what you need to work through to get ready for that Memphis game. That's my key, or that's my hope, is that they kind of go in, fix, and use the next 2 games to correct what you need to correct. And then let's get into that Memphis game and let's go dominate Memphis. That's my hope. But appreciate you, Andrew. Thank you. And Andre, coming out to $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Live by the 3, die by the 3. Lakers need to focus on the inside game more. JJ needs to watch videos for 2020 team. I need to play more inside. I mean, Lakers, aren't they first in the league in interior? Let me see if I can pull that up. I'm pretty sure the Lakers are like dominant. They've been like one of the best teams, and they took like 30 free throws. How many did they take? Took 33 free throws, and they had how many total shots? They had 77, and they took 28 threes. So you're talking a third. So I mean, you're talking 50 of their attempts came. Let's go. Talking 50 of their attempts came from the interior, right? They were. Yeah, I think. We're first in points in the paint. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Lakers have been the best team as far as the interior goes. Lakers are taking about a third of their shots are threes, which is about where they were last year, which is surprising. So I don't necessarily think that yet. A lot of this game came down to turnovers. Again, they had 20 turnovers that translated like 35 points or something. I don't remember what they said. It was like 30, 35 points. There's your ball game right there. There's the difference, right? You win the game if that doesn't happen. And then on top of that, you add in that. The lack of ball movement, the lack of assists. Again, there's your game. There's your ball game. I think that's what this game boiled down to. I think it was lack of ball movement, careless turnovers, and Cleveland took advantage, right? I credit Cleveland for that, but Lakers need to do a better job of cleaning up the mess, so to speak. Got to do a better job of cleaning up the mess. Let's see. As I told you, D'Lo, AR, and Max all got exposed, and they need 2 of them need to be traded. Kessler and Zach are need better ways. Look, 7 Sports, I'm sure you're aware. First off, thank you. I don't think I said thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much for $5 super chat. Really appreciate that. Secondly, I'm sure you know as well as anybody that I am dying to go get Zach LaVine and Walker. I've been screaming that all offseason. I am huge. I do think that they probably go make a push for Zach LaVine at some point, honestly. I think that may end up being the best deal available, and I think that they may end up pulling that off. But you got, like I said, fortunately, I think you got to wait. As badly as I mean, look, I've been screaming from the rooftops, go get Zach LaVine, right? Like, I've been very adamant about that. But I think you have to give it like 20 games to just make sure, like, how does he look? Is he starting to get a little wobbly? You know, is he dealing with a bunch of nagging injuries? Is he hurt, right? Like, you don't want to make that commitment and then he ends up getting hurt. You know, like I always say, I don't think you should ever make moves based on injuries unless a guy's just like insanely injury prone, which Zach LaVine isn't. I know a lot of people look at last year, but you look at the previous 2 years, he played 77 games, 67 games, 60 games, 58 games. I'm not worried about it. As long as he's playing around 65 games a season, you're good. But you want to make sure, because he is coming off of a surgery, that, hey, he's good, he's healthy, he's fine. You got to break up the D'Lo AR. You do. You got to get rid of that. D'Lo's the odd man out. You know, I like D'Lo, but he's especially with the offense we're running, we don't need him for that wheel and deal, right? We just need that initiator. And AR has shown that he can do that. I don't trust AR as your primary, like if you want him to be Chris Paul out there, I don't trust him as your playmaker, just out here wheeling and dealing and making all these moves. But as your initiator, bringing the ball up, getting you into your action, getting into the teeth of the defense, kind of creating for others, you know, basically making plays, I think AR is fine in that regard. And he's shown that he's fine in that regard. So I think you get that. Go get a Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine can do the same thing, be your initiator. But now you got a guy that can consistently night in and night out give you that offensive production, give you some athleticism, some rim pressure, as well as Zach LaVine can defend. right? He just needs to buy in and really look focused out there. But I appreciate you. Oh, and as for Kessler, I just realized I didn't mention Kessler. As for Walker Kessler and how he goes, yeah, look, he's my favorite big man. I've said my list is go get Zach LaVine and then Walker Kessler. Right? Those are two guys I want the most. I think you can get Zach LaVine and not have to give up 2 firsts is really beneficial. I still wouldn't give up 2 firsts for Kessler, but if you could do a first, like a pick swap and remove the protection, I would do that all day because I do think you need to keep that first so you can go make that other minor move or whatever at the deadline. But appreciate you again. Thank you. Andre, coming out with another $2 super chat. Thank you so much. 2020 team averaged 75 points in the paint. What are the Lakers even averaging this year in points in the paint? I don't think they're that far off because Lakers are averaging like 118 points per game. Lakers points in the paint 2024. Let's see. Let's see. What is this? What the heck is this? It brought me to selection committee. Oh, did they name? Oh, in the paint, they named something. All right, here we go. Full team ranks. There we go. 2024, 2025. So Lakers are currently, they are 4th in the league at 56 points in the paint per game. Yeah, they're averaging 60. Let's round it up, be nice, say 61. They're averaging 61 points in the paint at home. So, yeah, so I mean, they're slightly off from that. But it also is 4 games in the season. So they're averaging, yeah, and you look at last year, they're actually averaging more points in the paint this year than they were last year so far. Again, it's early in the season. But yeah, Memphis, Clippers, and OKC are the top 3 teams, and the Lakers are 4th right now. So Lakers are 4th in points in the paint. So, I mean, Lakers are, I mean, they're playing the way that they need to play. Also, 75 points in the paint. Yeah, you look at the 2020 team. They also had guys like Dwight and JaVale and Rondo to set those guys up. Like, it was just a very different team, right? Like, this team, outside of AD and LeBron, like Rui, I guess Rui too, you don't really have a lot of, like, interior guys is my concern. So I don't know. I just don't see the way that this team is constructed. I don't see them averaging 75 points in the paint a game. I think that they'll be top 5 in points in the paint, maybe even top 3 or whatever. Like I said, they're 4th right now. I think that that's where they fall. They probably, half, if not a little more, will probably be points in the paint. Just based on this team. Like I said, you don't have the bodies for the inside game. And it was a very different league then, right? Like, talking, I know it doesn't seem that long ago, but 5 years ago, a lot is different. A lot, like, even 3-point percentage and stuff like that is just different. 70 Sports, coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. D'Lo, Max are losing trade value every game. News is out on D'Lo and AR are a bad con. And Max and Gabe are too small. If it means giving up Vando, do it. So if you get Zach LaVine, I think you need Jared Vanderbilt, right? Because between AR, LaVine, LeBron, and AD, you have more than enough offense. You need that defensive piece. You need that guy to really kind of put the defense together. So I think a healthy Vando is just so important. However, can Vando stay healthy, right? If Vando comes back and he starts getting a little wobbly, I think you need to look to move him. I do. But if he comes back and, you give it 15 games or whatever, and he's starting to get into that, like starting to look like Jared Vanderbilt, and he's not really dealing with any nagging stuff, I think you have to keep him. Look, Max Christie, I don't think is going to lose value. He's 21 years old. He is literally 3 years younger than Dalton Knecht, right? And teams know that. Teams are aware of that. He's already very good defensively. He needs to learn better positioning and how to read better. But I don't see him losing trade value, if I'm being honest. I think he'll be fine in the trade department. Because he's just, teams are going to love, he's young, he's athletic, he's a two-way guy. If we can be patient and just kind of develop him and mold him, right, we'll be fine. I mean, look at like Jay Huff, just got a 4-year deal. Look at, Scottie Pippen Jr. just got a 4-year deal, right? Like, because Memphis was willing to be patient, and they were in a position last year where they kind of let those guys grow. Problem is, like I said, like with Max Christie, I'm not ready to write him off yet. Just because, again, like you gotta, like, I understand this is his 3rd year, but it really isn't. This is like his first real year, right? He got no real consistency, no real minutes, no real rolling opportunity. The guy's averaging like 5 minutes a game and getting 3 attempts. And now you're going from that to like, hey, we need you to be our 6th best player every night. That's tough for anybody to go from not playing at all to now being the 6th best player. I want to wait. We can't trade him until the 15th anyway, December 15th, that is. So you have between now and the 15th to figure it out. If come the 15th, if by like that time, he's still looking and struggling and not looking like what we need him to be, then yes, I think you need to look to unload him. D'Lo, I think no matter what, you got to trade D'Lo. I just think he's the redundancy on this team, and he could average 38 and 8 the rest of the way. And I still think you got to trade him for just a better fit, is my only concern, right? But Max Christie, again, he's just so young too, right? Like, and then what's going to happen is, and I'm not saying you'll be like this, but what's going to happen is we trade him, and then 2-3 years from now, he's Dalton Connect's age, and he's one of the best two-way guys in the league, and everyone's going to be like, look, we shouldn't have traded him. We're stupid, right? And you had him on a cheap deal, right? Like, I want to be patient with him. As frustrating as it is, I want to be patient with him. And like I said, you can't even trade him right now. So I think you have no choice but to be patient with him. Again, I don't think anybody is untradeable on this roster. I think if you can get the right pieces, though, I don't think you just trade guys. But if you can get the right tradable pieces, I think you do that. Right? If like today, again, you can't trade Max Christie today. But for argument's sake, let's say you could trade Max Christie today. If the Utah Jazz, if they called right now and were like, hey, we'll swap Walker Kessler for Max Christie, I would do that all day, including Sunday. I don't even care if Max Christie turns into one of the best two-way twos in the league, right? Because you got guys like Dalton Connect that can slide over, and you're getting your center of now and the future. So I just think it depends on what one becomes available, what is available, and what is the cost. But if you can get the right moves, I think you do it. D'Lo and AR, backcourt struggle defensively. Shaking my head. Yes, 100%. First off, Stakes, thank you so much for Super Chat. Really appreciate that. Secondly, there's too much redundancy with it. You got to trade D'Lo. You really do. Right? AR, he's been good. I know he had his struggles this game. What did he do? Shoot the ball 1 of 4 again, right? But AR is starting to look more comfortable out there. I like what we've seen in the previous games. To me, it's about the consistency. It's something that I've been very critical about with him. Can he consistently? Because we saw this last year. He'd have like 5 games in a row where he's giving you 25, 8, and 5. And you're just like, boom, let's go. And then the next 5 games, he's giving you, 12, but on like 1 of 6 from 3 and 2 of 11 from the floor, right? So we need the consistency out of Austin Reeves, right? He gave you 7 points. What was 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and he had more turnovers than anything. So, these kind of Austin Reeves games are the ones where you're just like, oh, come on, dude. And this is why I've been critical of him, right? We need him consistently, game in and game out, right? Use Zach LaVine as an example. Zach LaVine on his worst nights are still giving you 15, right? Worst night, he's going to give you, you're at least getting double digits from Zach. But on his best night, he's going to go give you 50, right? Like, those are the kind of things that there's too much redundancy. You need to get some athleticism. You need to get some consistency into that starting unit. Ideally, you need to get some defense. Hopefully when Jared Vanderbilt comes back, that kind of helps with that. Maybe that kind of helps with a few things, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But again, Stakes, I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right. At least the Lakers won the foul disparity, 26-7. They in good hands. Lakers don't have any perimeter defense without Vando, no bench scorer, no backup center or starting center, and no three-point shooting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that definitely doesn't help, right? The bench has been atrocious. The bench has been terrible. I do like Dalton Connect kind of picked it up. Hopefully that can kind of start getting him going. Hopefully he can start finding his rhythm, start finding his flow a little bit here. But like I said, I love that he did it at the end of the game, right? 18 points is 18 points. I don't care. But there's 18 points in garbage time at the end of the game, and then there's 18 points in the flow of the actual game. I'm not saying he has to go get you 18, but can we get some consistency? Can we get 8 to 12 points on a regular basis? That's where I'm at with that. AR, Gabe, Max, by y'all. I like that. If AR can keep playing the way he's been playing, I know this wasn't a good game. You got to trade D'Lo, and plus the Lakers aren't going to trade AR. Feel like it's because we don't have wing defenders. Only person is Cam Reddish. I mean, yeah, that's a big part of it. I mean, look, I talked about it even after the Lakers went 3-0. Talked about it all off season long. Made several videos between this channel and as it stands, the Lakers show. I just the problem is you have this team that they don't have two-way guys. They have a bunch of great offensive tools, a bunch of great offensive weapons, but you don't have any. You don't have the balance. You don't have the defense in particular into that starting unit, and that hurts. That hurts bad. I just think at some point, if Vando comes back and starts showing that he's healthy, I just think you have to inject him into the starting unit. I do. I just think you need that better balance. There are two good players on this team. What, LeBron and AD? Zach, I've been screaming for Zach LaVine. Hyped over 3. Why wouldn't you be hyped over 3? Like, are we supposed to be like, Lakers are trash after starting 3-0? Again, it's a long season. But like I've always said, don't get too high on the highs, don't get too low on the lows. Right? Like the pendulum swing. Just because they lost this game, it sucks. It's tough. But that doesn't mean like, Lakers are trash now. Worst team in the league. They're going to lose the next 12. Like, let's live in the moment. Be critical when you need to be critical. Be hyped when you need to be hyped. But keep things in perspective. Everyone else is inconsistent, flawed, and mid. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you get with role players, right? The way that they play tonight, you'd be surprised that we are 3-2. Yeah, the way that they play tonight, absolutely. Oh no, we suck again. That's what that reminded me of. What's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you being here. It's not even about being right. Coaching makes them better, but this roster has. This roster 100% has issues, without a doubt. Let's see. Reeves and D'Lo are not capable of being consistent league quality guards, talent together. Yeah, but if you go get that guy, right? Like if you go get a Zach LaVine, now Reeves becomes your fourth guy. And when he is on and he is cooking, you're going to win all those games. When he does have a game like he does tonight, you probably still win those games, right? Like you're just in a much better position. Yeah, it's definitely play. Again, I've said it before. Coaching can only get you so far. Fun fact, Dalton Connect has the most points out of all rookies. Really? That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Ty, I'm assuming you tried to spell Tyler. Tyler's next video is Rui and Vando tradable. Trade us Reeves and D'Lo for Trae Young. I mean, I've talked about Rui and all these guys being tradable. Let's see. Let's see. Base loaded. Oh, from the game earlier. Yep. Wood and Vando and Koloko are missing, and Cam were missing that size. Everyone calm down. Koloko, I don't even know if he's going to play much, if at all, this season. Vando and Wood definitely hurt. However, there's still blatant concerns on this roster. Like we can't ignore the concerns on this roster. Let's see. Tyler, AR and D'Lo's play style is what gets me. They don't put pressure on the defense in any way, shape, or form. It's one thing to be a skill guard, but you're not shooting well. You can't do anything. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. That's why I've talked about, like, when AR is on and he's hitting shots, it opens things up for him because now he can eat more. He can attack the closeouts harder. He can get in the teeth of the defense. You see teams, when he's not shooting well, teams kind of just sag off of him a little bit. Right? They're not on him. But when he's cooking and he's hitting threes, well, now teams got to really close out hard and they have to overextend and overhelp, which allows him to do what he likes to do, which is get into the teeth of the defense and make plays and stuff. Right? You need a rim pressure guard. You need somebody like I said, a Colin Sexton, a Zach LaVine, Bruce Brown, somebody that can give you some of that athleticism, hopefully be a point of attack, give you some just rim pressure. And I think the Lakers will be fine. If they don't make a big move, they will not be a contender. I still think the Lakers are going to do stuff. The turnovers, yeah. Kessler would be fantastic, yes, and the turnovers. D'Lo's movement is hard to watch. Things I hate when I go into CFX. What D. Mitchell did to D'Lo Reeves is what Murray's going to do again. Yeah. You don't have Austin Reeves is actually very good on Murray defensively. So much so that's why they kept switching off him at the end of the game. But yes, it is a concern. You're not wrong. Come on, bums. We need another solid center. AD does not have the best roamer and help defender. He can cover 60% of the floor. We don't need him to be used to guard one big. It was evident in 2020 and Bam and Paris. Yes. Go get a Walker Kessler. Something like that. You need to get somebody. Nobody can beat on-ball pressure like we really struggle with on-ball pressure. Trade D'Lo, he literally did nothing good, not even his playmaking best game. At least Reeves played defense and got rebounds. Yes, think you need to unload D'Lo. Got to get rid of him. I'd keep Vando once he's back. Vando, Kessler, and AD are good enough defensive foundation. I agree 100%, but the best ability is availability, and you need to make sure that Vando is healthy. If he starts getting shaky and wobbly again, I think you have to, I just don't think the Lakers are in the position to gamble, right? So trade him to a team that is willing to gamble on him and live with the result, right? But if he can stay healthy, then we're in good shape. I absolutely believe we should have traded for him as well. I am very disappointed. Now, in hindsight, you could argue he got hurt and is going to miss probably a month or so, but still, I still would have made the move. D. Mitch went crazy, yes. Dorian Finney-Smith is not trustworthy. I was wrong about him. His jumper is fraudulent, and Vando's significantly better. Vando's better defensively. Yes, look, Dorian Finney-Smith can be inconsistent offensively. He's not, like this lights out three-point shooter, but he's better offensively than all the wings we have right now, right? And on top of that, it's the pressure that he puts on the deep. Like, teams will still at least contest because they know he can go and get off, but he also can defend 1 through 4, and he can also play 1 through 4. It's just having that legit two-way guy. Appreciate you, Jersey. Thank you. Appreciate you. If we make a move, it needs to be LaVine. Look, I'm right there with you. Need Vando back. Defense is terrible. I agree. I'm right there with you. Yeah, they can't get any stops. Yep. Come on, bum. Just walk 2 straight batters. Ooh, that wasn't a strike. The problem is they want 2 firsts. And I don't think they're going to look at Jalen and Trifino as worthy of a first. So I think you're probably going to have to give up Jalen. You have to be something like Jalen and Trifino, a first, plus remove protections. And I would do that all day. If you can get him for 1 first, I would do that immediately. The problem is we can't give up both firsts for him. As much as I like him, we can't. So, let's see. Sorry, trying to find something to me. Let's see, Tyler. You have to stop with the Christie talk. He's salary filler and a trade. I disagree. I really do. I don't. I just don't know how you can come to that conclusion yet. I don't know how you come to that conclusion yet. He's played 4 games or 5 games. Right? He's been very good defensively. Offensively, he's been inconsistent. Last game, everyone talked about how he was trash, but he was our best bench player. Right? I just I'm not saying that he's not or that he will be either way. Can we give a guy more than 5 games to see what he can be? Is my point, right? Like, because what happens 10 games from now? The dude is everything we need, right? Then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, thank God we didn't trade him." I'd rather be patient. You can't trade him until December 15th anyway. So I think you have to bare minimum. You got to at least wait till then to see. Let's go blue. Let's see. What about? Oh, did they get the double? Oh, they got one out. All right. What about LaVine, Valanciunas, and Kispert? How much is Kispert making? Was it Corey Kispert? He's making. I hate when it doesn't bring it up already. Usually it brings it up already. 13.5 million. So I don't think you'd be able to do all of that because you're talking 43, let's say 44 million, because you have to send out extra salary. You're talking 10 million. So let's say 44, let's say 45 to be safe. So 45, 55. Oh, no. Damn it. Oh, is he safe? Oh, man, 6'5". So you're talking 45, 55, 60. You have to send out roughly 70 million. So you're talking D'Lo, Rui, and on top of that, you have to be able to fill a 15-man roster. I don't think you can do that. Because you're talking D'Lo, Rui, there's 35. Let's say Vando, Gabe Vincent, get you another 20, so it's 55. Even if you throw in like Max Christie, right, you're still not quite there. Yeah, you'd basically have to trade your entire. You wouldn't be able to. You could do Valanciunas and LaVine, but you wouldn't be able to get Kispert. I mean, you could, but you'd have to. It's really difficult. Like you'd have to trade your entire roster and then fill it with a bunch of vet minimum guys. But you also need like each vet minimum's like minimum 1.5 million. It'd be really, really hard. Come on, Dodgers, don't mess this up. Damn it. Suns game was still on LeBron. Like both can be true. Like Suns game, LeBron was great in this game and they lost, right? Like, yeah, just like LeBron didn't show up in the last game and everyone else was great, right? Like again, both can be true, right? You can have a bad LeBron game and a bad role player game. They're different games. Connect and Reeves are the perfect duo, but they need an athletic guard to go with that rotation. Yeah, you got to get some athleticism out on the perimeter. All right. Let me power through a couple more questions here because got a lot of work to do. Need to get a bunch of videos done for tomorrow. Let's see. All right. We can go 82-0. We are not winning anything with D'Lo. D'Lo should have been gone. I mean, D'Lo's pretty bad on both ends yet. Here we go. More trades after 5 games. Well, I mean, even when the Lakers were 3-0, didn't mean that they didn't need a trade. Like the trade part hasn't changed. They still need to. They've always needed to make moves. JJ had to play Vincent because D'Lo almost single-handedly blew the lead. So with 20 games or more, is the Lakers are going to trade someone by then or wait until the trade deadline? I mean, like half their guys they can't even trade till the 15th. So you're not like you're probably not getting a trade till mid-December, early January at the earliest. So it'll probably be closer to like 30 games by the time the Lakers can actually make a trade. Because that's not what like Utah has to be willing to do that, and Utah's not willing to do that. That's the problem. You like Utah has to agree to the deal. Like I'd love if we could just call up and just be like, hey, we're giving you Jalen Hood-Schifino, we're removing the protections, and giving you a first for Walker Kessler, but they don't want them. Right now they want 2 firsts plus a young guy. And until they come down on that price, you can't do it. If the Lakers could only give up 1 first for Walker Kessler, they probably would have done it by now. Tyler, like at what point are we going to take a step back? Max and Gabe are both doing nothing out there. Oh, like again, I'm not saying that they haven't been. They absolutely have. But Gabe, I'm fine trading, right? He's got 11 million. You could move off of him fine. Max Christie, he's 21 years old, right? Like, what does he look like at Connect's age, right? We're looking at Dalton Connect and what he's doing at 24. That's 3 years older than Max Christie, right? So you're talking 3 years of development that he has. Like Max Christie defensively is better, right? It's just his shot isn't falling and his decision making hasn't been great, right? His shot isn't falling and his IQ has not been great, right? But gotta like people, I understand he's a 3-year player. I get it. But this is really his first year. He's going from basically playing 0 role, 0 opportunity to, now we need you to be our 6th best player every night. Like that's a lot of responsibility overnight and only give him 5 games to do so. I can't get there yet personally. If you can get there after 5 games, that's fine. But again, like you trade Max Christie and he starts torching folks, a year from now, and it's like, maybe we should have kept him. It's just patience is key. Patience is a virtue. I understand we're not a very patient fan base, but sometimes that's the key. And again, we can't trade him, right? Like even they could call right now and say, we'll give you Walker Kessler and a first for Max Christie, and you can't do it. So what's the point? You might as well wait till December. You might as well wait the 20 games and let's see what he can do. Play absolutely no defense. It's embarrassing. Yes. Lonnie Walker. So no, you can't salary dump. All the guys are guaranteed, so still counts towards the cap. And 2, Lonnie Walker just signed with I think a Shane High team, something like. Let's see. D'Lo has to be traded. I've said it before. I would be shocked if D'Lo is on this roster by the time the trade deadline passes. Let's see. There are 21-year-old wings that are giving tangible production rather than potential talks. Like who? Who's 21 years old that's actually playing a significant role nightly? Do you guys have outlier games? I'm sure, right? I would love, like, who is that guy, right? If that's the case, go get that guy. Go trade for him right now. Who's a 21-year-old that 21-year-old wing that's giving any team solid, a real team is not like, again, you're talking about a team that's trying to contend for playoffs, championship, right? Could Detroit have some 21-year-old that is giving you production? Sure. But again, like what 21-year-old, what playoff team period is counting on a 21-year-old to be your 6th best player nightly? Right? Like I don't know who that is. Let's see. Christie's been in the league, but being in the league and actually playing aren't the same, right? Like you could be in the league for 10 years, but if you never play, then what's the difference? Let's see what else. We need to do a Walker Kessler trade. I agree. I am with it. Let's see. I said he could be a Paul George type player, that the versatility, solid two-way player And again, he's 21 years old in his first productive season, right? Like, again, I didn't talk about him being that this season. I wasn't talking, you're making it sound like I was like, oh, he could be Paul George this year. No, I said his ceiling, I think, could be that. I said smaller Paul George was actually how I phrased. I think he'd be a smaller Paul George type player. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something. Me. D'Lo can't guard anybody. I agree. Any players we need to have like, but here's the problem: is that what team wants that, right? Like, it's easy to say these guys suck, trade them, but if they really suck, why would another team want them, right? And why would another team want to give you value for them, right? Like, it's easy to say D'Lo's trash, trade him. Max Christie's trash, trade him. Gabe Vincent's trash, trade him. Why would another team want him then? Right? Like, why would another team want that guy? And why? And even if they did want the guy, why would they be willing to give you value? Which is why you have to give up assets for that, which is why the Lakers have to be patient. Believe me, I would love to see that. I would love to see the Lakers go get somebody like that. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something. Me. Keep talking about Vando, and he's always hurt. I mean, the first year he wasn't. Last year he was. So, I mean, if he can give you what he gave you the previous year, then he'll be fine. But you need to wait and see how that goes first. All right, let's do a handful of more questions. Like I said, I think he'll be traded at some point. He's an expiring $18 million. Eric, you got to keep that in mind. He's a lot of teams. Come trade deadline, teams will be lining up to trade for him. Why? Because he's expiring $18 million. If he was on multi-years at $18 million, you're 100% correct. But as a expiring asset, especially with the new CBA, he's gold come the trade deadline. Gold come the trade deadline. Right now, there's just no value because right now teams are looking at it as like, we're not going to play him. We're not going to use him. Like, all right, let's do. Did LaVine really hurt his shoulder tonight? See, this is why, if that's true, this is why you need to give it a handful of games first. Are you worried? No, not yet. Not after one game, right? Like, again, you got to ride the highs with the highs, the lows with the lows. Like I said, give it 20, 25 games in the season, and let's see how it goes. Max is essentially a rookie, right? Again, I understand he's on paper been there 3 years, but he's never really gotten an opportunity. He's never actually played a real significant role. Again, he went from getting almost no minutes or spot minutes at times to, oh, now we need you to be your sixth best player on this team. That's a lot. It's a lot to ask for anybody. Let's see. Let's do like 2 more. On and off night, yes, Zach LaVine can give you a 15, but on 5-17 or 6-20 shooting, how can the Lakers win with that? Aaron Rui took 6 attempts in this game. LeBron, I mean, attempts are always a big thing. Yeah, but Zach LaVine is very different than Rui and Reeves, right? Like, I would imagine that LeBron in particular would probably be more willing to share the love with a guy like LaVine. Let's see. D'Lo and Gabe and Hayes are all the trade radar. I would take Darius Garland, Jared Allen for them. That's something I think the Cavs actually would do. I do not see a scenario where they would do that. Because one, they wanted to trade Jared Allen, and Donovan Mitchell, like that's like his best friend. The only guy that may end up getting traded is Darius Garland. Like I could see Darius Garland get traded at some point, but Jared Allen, I would be pretty shocked if they traded him, just because again, like that's like D Mitch's guy. And they're currently the best team in the NBA right now. So let's see. What do we need to fix this? I do not like this. We were winning. I want to get back to that. I mean, look, the Lakers will get back to winning. I'm not worried about them getting back to winning. It's just, again, when you don't play the right way, you gotta take care of the basketball. This game is boiled down to two things. One, you had almost as many turnovers as you did assists, and two, you didn't move the basketball. You can play the right way, right? Go look at the games we won. Lakers gave you 30 plus assists. When the Lakers are moving the basketball and you're putting the defense in compromised positions, you're going to win those games. Lakers out there just, turning the ball over as many times as they're making assists, you're not going to win those games. Like, I think it's as simple as that. Overall, long-term wise, I think that you need to get some athleticism and defense out on the perimeter. You do. You got to get some defense and athleticism out on the perimeter. You got to get another big guy. You get those two things, I think the Lakers will be much better. Lakers aren't far, but they still need, again, you get a Bruce Brown, Zach LaVine, Walker Kessler, and Colin Sexton. Now I think the Lakers are cooking. But all right, let's do two more, and then I'm going to skate on out of here. Nick Richards would be a great option. LA will be 7-2 next week. Agreed. I'm with you. Let's get it. Tyler's curse is strong. What's going on, buddy? What's going on, Bugger? I think so too. They'll bare minimum they'll win the next two, but that Minnesota game is going to be key. Minnesota game is going to be really key. Problem is we don't have a way to bring him back. Is the problem. But anyway, all right, I'm going to skate on out of here. I appreciate you all so very much for hanging out with me. You guys are beautiful, right? Hopefully we right the ship, get back in the lab, work on it, watch tape, watch film, figure out what you got to work on, and let's right the ship. We got two games that are incredibly winnable that you have to win. Right the ship. Let's get this together. Let's use these next two games to kind of get back on track so we can go win that Memphis game, close this road trip 3-2, which is what I said they would finish. I need that 3-2. We do that, all is good. All will be right in the world again. Everyone that hung out, seriously, I appreciate you. Seriously, thank you so very much. Also, please make sure to like the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Everyone that gave me super chats, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.